certainly the size of the trees.
Oh yeah.
That's one tooth.
Oh, is that the tooth?
Yeah. There's possibly some more here as well. That's the reason we're slowly going around it, trying to expose it.
Hello.
Because we should be doing the same as you, taking photographs of it and recording it before we remove it. Because as you can see here, the salt is a different colour.
Oh yeah.
Out here it's red. In here it's black.
Oh, hang on, I'll just look. Sorry, I'm moved on.
More like discoloration through debris.
Sean, if you clear that up, when I've done the pits, this funny thing here, in the next pit, I'll come and photograph that. Is that right?
I can go, yeah. So it's not just a hole. It had a purpose in life, see, just a hole, like, you know. Like that size there. That's your storage pit. They didn't have fridges, yeah, they didn't have fridges and freezers. So there's a dig pit.
So that one there's the storage pit.
Yeah. Line it with straw, put their crops in there. And once they use the materials, use it for rubbish tips. Well, not waste not. Rubbish tips. They were very green. And clean. There's a stone, red stone, hardened from a fire, a hearth. So they were cooking here, hence the reason for the fire. And the pottery had the cooking in. And what were they eating? Cattle, material. So it has a domestic occupation period. Of so far dating around the late Bronze Age period.
It's bone of some sort, but it's what's called it's bone, yeah. It's enigmatic, I think is Right, I've done a couple of shots of that. Yeah, sure.
Two bits of
Anything in that one?
Hello. Found some piece of bone and a piece of a jaw. And these pieces of bone here, apparently, according to the experts, have been cut on the top there to make a pattern to press into clay. And that one has been cut as well. And there's some little sea urchin shells, little fossil ones. And there's some little bits of pottery. It's just the top of a little pot.
Amazing what there is about it.
There's another bit. It's quite thick pottery. And this is a pebble. I don't know whether it was used for a tool or whether it's just something they had and it was broken, so they threw it away. That they it's like chicken bones or something like that, and they've carved the pattern. You can see it's like a little flower in the top. Little copper or bronze, probably a rivet, maybe a hobnail or something.
A bone stuck on the surface. That's all that was. might be part of a school. But if it is, it's only part of it. Have you got a container that you want this put in, Jill?
That looks wonderful. I'll just wait for them to put that in the presentation now. Lovely. Glad. Yeah. Now let's have it. I may have to change it. like the natural ore you find up in the ground. Lovely job.
Just pop to that there.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me in this particular context. Yes, I had a very small piece yesterday in the pit. I wasn't talking about it when those kids were around. Which is a piece of a knife blade.
Yeah, I think this is
Yep.
the biggest halfway work.
Mm.
It's not natural, I don't think, but I don't think it's not really work.
We don't want metal detection people up here, so we don't mention it.
Pardon?
So if you've got something, little piece of metal, burnt material and things. Little furnace of some sort.
It just popped up from there.
That's great, isn't it? It's a good site.
Would you expect to find metal in there?
Well, you wouldn't be surprised at it. The trouble is, that none of us have ever dug a site like this before, so we're all,
Quite
you know,
exotic.
well, it's not just being excited. We're all, you know, learning as we go along as well. I mean, we've read about other people digging these things and everything, but it's the opportunity to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Right, Nick, I've just done one side of A4 of notes, just up to where we are. No complicated detail or anything, just so that you and Tim have got something for tomorrow. Okay.
Well, probably it sounds like it might be me because I think Tim's by far the best section drawer.
Yeah, he gets on with that.
I think he wants to get his head down as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He certainly gave me the impression he wanted to get some drawing done.
I'll just keep an eye on
Yeah.
context.
Brilliant. That's
Everything
excellent.
else to go along.
Well, I think probably, I mean, if you do, are you going to put anybody in the pit that I've been digging or not?
No,
Because
I'm
that's a bit complicated
I'm
now.
leaving that to you.
Thank you.
Leaving that to you. The things I want to try and get on with tomorrow is that big patch up by the fence.
Yeah. Well, that's now got a context number on it.
Right. The patch this side of it.
Yeah.
But I also want to see whether there's anything in that smaller one.
That one over there.
And what about investigating a couple of these smaller bits?
Yeah. No harm at all.
I mean, it all depends on who turns up.
Well, I know.
How many people we get.
And
If we
for
get-
some of them, you'll be able to let them just get on with it. Though.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, that we get a fair smattering of people that you can just point and say, look, there it is. Here's the field notes. Keep it up to date. Do a section.
Yeah.
Keep it up to scratch, and if you can draw it, brilliant.
I'll tell you what. Shall I just?
Yeah, don't leave your little book. No, don't leave that. I mean, leave some bits
Yeah.
and pieces. And
If I leave some bags, and just what is the time? Maybe 4 o'clock.
I've only got one small fine bag left.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, if I get all the bags out, and they can all be written on with a felt pen. It doesn't matter whether they've got quite a. Right, I'll start going through. Might be worthwhile having quite a bit.
Nothing too fresh. At least a couple of times on Mick Aston's Meet the Ancestors, he's mentioned reading the paperwork, going through the maps, going through the plans, going through the aerial photographs. Then you eventually get down to the digging. Whereas something like this, a rescue excavation is totally different. It's the other way around. Like, you know, you dig it first and then you find out afterwards as to what it was, where it was, who put it there, why it was there, when. It'd be nice to come up with a nice piece of pottery, actually.
Wouldn't it?
A little bit of decorated ware of a certain period. It's more datable evidence. You can't date nothing from the bones, possibly from the pottery there. stuff. They always go everywhere.
That piece of sticking out could be a bit of bone, could
That
it?
one is, yeah. That's the reason I'm going around it. Of course, that's crew. It wasn't those volleys, volunteers. Just doing it for the pure love of it, like, you know.
That's right.
In fact, I should be spending 5 weeks of my holiday doing this.
Oh, really?
I've got no ties. I've got no ties at all. And most of us got our own little projects going as well. We spend all our time on that. But when something like this crops up, in an emergency, it's got to be done first. Again, you can see the discoloration. It's still going down as we're going down. That colour and then the black inside. So there's several fills in this pot, this hole.
Is it? Is that why the difference in colour?
Yeah. Layers. The outer might be just an infill that's just fallen in over the years. The middle might be just a deposit. But it's funny, on this one, the pottery's on top and the bones are underneath. Well, not funny as such, it's just more interesting. Pure interesting.
Mm. Any more?
Nothing new, no, any more bits of bones. Amazing how you sort of, once you get your eye in, you start to see the little bits everywhere. He's done really well. Look at that. See, so we miss them when we're going through quickly. It's a big help having somebody sitting.
That's all bits what you're finding today, is it? Those?
That's what I found, yeah, right at the edge. It was just, most of the finds seem to be at the edge for some reason. So.
Was that all bones and stuff, yeah?
Yeah, it's cow bones, mainly. A bit of pottery. Hello.
Hello. Getting more away.
Anybody else here, I think? Okay. I need an opinion. Where rodents go to. Okie doke. How are we doing?
I found numbers out the surface.
You keep going, you see, and bits. That's mine.
Medieval price tag.
At the moment I'm going to go along there
33 groats.
Tell me again what it is.
It's a quern for grinding grain, and this is the rubber, the stone which was used for grinding the grain on it. And they were together like that,
Can I have a go at
down
doing
in the
it?
pit there. Well, we won't grind the grain, we won't use it because that might damage the surface.
But then I put down in it. Go across
Well,
the line. Just try.
No, you can just try moving the stone up and down like that. We won't really do it because it might damage the surface.
It won't.
Because this is very old. We want
And
to
that's
keep
what
it
you
just
found
as
this
it is.
morning, is it?
That's in the pit down there. There's some decorated pottery and some animal bones. That's a ritual deposit. That's been put there for some religious or ceremonial.
Tim found right at the very end. She found jaws about that, like that with teeth. And is this going in the newspaper? Yeah.
You see that, Jamie? And that's where it came out of.
That's where it came out of. But it's rather nice because the thing itself is still perfectly working. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not been thrown away because it's broken. It's been put there because of, it's a sacrifice. It's there for religious reasons.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's early Iron Age, so it's about 2,500 years old, 2,800 years.
You can do some digging. Where? Somewhere. No.
There's all the bits of pottery. Someone was working on this hole yesterday and they came up with a lot more pottery. I found the sort of remains they left. But thankfully, if they'd have gone half an inch deeper, they'd have found this, but I did.
That's your prize. Your prize for the day's work.
Yeah, I won't get to keep it, mind. But
No, but it's still nice to be able.
It's a sheep swan.
Is it really? How old is that one then?
I don't know.
You don't know. And that's what that is. Just say that again.
Well, you know, you had the pits here for your corn, your millet, and your oats and your barley. Of course, when you wanted to grind it, what did you do? You put it on a saddle quern. We'll assume this is a rider. That's the saddle. You've got your corn on there. You're doing that, grinding your corn. So your corn and oats is coming off the side, ready for your flour and your barley, like, you know, for your bread. So that's the saddle. We're looking for the rider. This is a possibility. But normally they were quite long, so you use two hands either side, like, you know. Later on, they use what's known as a rotary quern. Again, the same idea. But they had one stone on top of the other one, and you put your corn in the middle, and you turn it. So, of course, there's a ground, and corn come out the outside to make your bread. But this is early, very early. Bronze Age, into the Iron Age, but Bronze Age. They even went back to the...
Is that all pottery?
Mostly, there's some very, very nice bits. Two big bits came up, very, very nice rim. That one there. And another bit which possibly matched it on a different part of the pot.
That's teeth, yes.
Lamb or something.
There's a big one in there. There's a big one in there as well, isn't there? And the big one.
Put it up. That's it.
That's it, see, yeah.
If you put fruits all over that one,
What have you had across there?
Big
hole.
Not a bone and a couple of bits of pot, that's all.
I do like that bit though. Look. It gets in my eyes though.
Alright then, well, you do it then. And brush it away from you. Don't get in your eyes then.
That's the lightest bit of bone that is.
Sorry?
That must be a black bone of a leg.
Yeah, could be, because you've got the joint where the joint goes.
And you can't do anything else yet.
Now,
You've got a tree full of stuff there. Huh?
Yeah. Snails, potted bone. Some little mice, shells.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At least you were getting towards the shade getting down there.
Yeah. Down the bottom there. It's a chain and seal.
How would you believe? Just knackering. Bone that was left in there last night, come here this morning, removed. Stones chucked in all the pits.
Everyone.
The pits are recovered, damaged. It was meant to be a half hour before it was an hour just clearing the pits out. All the edges were damaged. And it was just trying to get back to work again. But life goes on, life goes on. The cleaners, that's tumble around the edge of it, where it's fallen in. But we're trying to get all these colours together. The red, brown, the black, more red out there. But the ground is so hard now. It's had a set sunlight now for the past few days. For the past 2 days, really hard. So we're trying to expose it here. It's just breaking up. It's just breaking up. We're just not getting the colours we want. In fact, you can see more from the colours of the original soil than what it is when I'm trying to expose it. Because it's just destroying it. So it's turn around and starts on here, where the soil texture is a lot softer and the holds water better. Therefore it's a lot easier to dig and to show up. And the texture is lovely. This here is a different fill to that there. It's easier to work on, so the colours are going to come up there. But again, after a few hours of sun on it,
It's gone again.
yeah. What we want is a shower for a good couple of hours, then we come in,
Yeah.
wait for half an hour, have a cup of tea, then get it on. You know, it's been a nice good soaking, so when we expose it, it's easy to expose, and then the colours come up, and there we know where we're going, like, you know. But it's bloody hard work. I got this tool for that, you know, for attacking red marl, like, you know, and it's having a bit of difficulty on this as well, like, you know. And not only that, we've had the JCBs coming across here,
They've packed it down,
so
haven't
you've packed it down as well, like, you know.
they?
You know, you want to see the colour and feel the textures and know what's going on. But okay, this weather might be, a lot of people loving it, but not so much us, like, good and bad. We are drinking everywhere, like that. I thought we were going to get a few more people today. I hoped we were going to get a few more people today. We should have got a few more people today, but it's not been so. It's not been so.
That's all out of this hole, is it? That's all out of this hole.
Yeah.
Favourite hole, is it?
Well, it's when I started, and it was just a bit strange. I feel on a band to carry on with it.
What are those? Those are the pots, are they?
It's the first two that the builder found. They're both black burnished ware, possibly made from earth that was mined at Salisbury.
And they're brought over here.
Would have been traded up to here for some reason. Either community to community, or there might have been somebody traipsing around with a donkey with the stuff on the back. We really have
Could
no
well,
idea. We
yeah.
really have no idea.
And that was just along here where he's digging, where we got that hutch bone the
it's
other day.
been ritually placed because it's facing up at you. There were a couple of vertebrae with it, so it was a head and a little bit of the neck. Of course, if you chuck that into a pit, it'll just fall on its side because a horse's skull is long and narrow. So it would. So it's been put there deliberately. And this hole here is probably where it was killed with a a pole axe motion, which is like an axe, and they put the axe through the between the eyes. To be honest, there's clearly a lot of heating been gone on there because you can see the colour of the clay. It's been changed, but it's difficult to say what it is. I think what's beginning to perplex the back of my mind slightly as well is that you can see the dark areas. Well, that's where the stones have been sitting. Now, if the areas around where the stones hasn't been burnt in any way to discolour the clay, then is the clay discoloured because the stones have leached some sort of mineral into it, or is the clay discoloured because hot stones have been put in there that have burnt the clay?
So there's always ifs and buts and how.
You answer one question, there's another 10 waiting behind it. That's the way it works in this game.
Isn't it? I think half the emergency forces of
Grinding corn. Lovely.
This was with it. Whether it actually was what was used on it, of course, we don't know. But it makes quite a good exhibit, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. Super.
So lovely. And I mean, that pit had lots of pots all around the outside, and this was around the outside. Everything was around the outside, major stuff. So they're carefully placing stuff.
Could that have been where they stored the stuff and then?
No, it would probably been used as a grain storage pit before, in its early days, and then once they finish using the storage pits, what we seem to think is going on, is that they placed items of importance and offerings back into the pit, so you're returning things to the cycle of life.
Ah, yeah.
And it seems that that's what their beliefs included, was that you gave things back. And the pits, of course, being down in the ground, it's giving it back to Mother Earth, it's returning it to the underworld.
Yeah.
And that went on for history before this period. That sort of thing seemed to but of course they now put things like wool and meat off the bone and other stuff that's just disintegrated, which is why we get this very dark fill in the soil. It's like an organic material. Yeah. And charcoal, of course, helps to make it dark. So, yes.
Are these a pattern of, or the
beginnings
of a pattern?
Difficult to tell. I mean, we haven't got enough of it, that's the trouble. It's so big.
How many days you got there?
I don't know.
Don't know. Just going as long as you can. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, little doggy eagle. You're gorgeous. He is. You see this?
No, she come over the next morning.
Yeah. It was quite probably similar to this with an outer bank and ditch.
Yeah.
And this is showing up in a ploughed field, you see.
Yeah.
So, of course, if this had been ploughed, you would have got the same effect. And all those black blobs are the pits.
It was ploughed once
Yes,
in the last 30 years, hasn't it, Doug?
I can never
Yeah, they ploughed it and then put it back down to grass and reseeded it.
But of course, that would never have got it to the stage where you could see the pits.
No.
And possibly, unless an aeroplane had been with a photographer and had been flying over at the time.
Yeah.
And what we did with this one, because the other half of that belongs to the farm, to my farm. So this is a border between our farm and.
You could say, well, we'll dig it up.
Well, no, we haven't dug it up. We've actually done geophysics on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's clear, isn't it?
So you've got the ditch there, and all these red marks are
the little holes.
The pits.
Yeah.
Because this is going into stewardship. So in actual fact, we're not likely to dig it up at all. We're likely to preserve it.
Yeah.
And this geophysical survey was done last autumn for a stewardship scheme. And there is a bigger fish. No, that's. Oh yeah. You see, we had a lovely whetstone. Came off the surface. That was just polishing stone. But that's flint because we're up on the flinty bit. So we thought we'd put that in as it's a pretty illustration. That's what they've worked out around the outside of various structures. And that's a blown up version of the of the geophysics.
It's so clear.
Mm. Good stuff, all this magnetometry. So, and then plotted out on the main map what's going on. So there's a barrow cemetery there and another one there. This would actually goes all the way around. They've even just put their bit of geophysics on it. It actually comes right over this boundary, which is actually an Anglo-Saxon parish boundary, which goes straight through the middle, and that may be significant in its own right.
Yeah.
You know, gives you something to laugh. So there we go.
Oh, so was it walking at the full circle and just driving badly? So they went just up the hill from where we are. There was a guy, a motorbike on one side of the road and a rather unpleasant looking mess on the other side of the road. Oh, incredible.
The weather's getting to him.
Might be.
It's feeling lovely. I want to see some colours though. I want to see some colours. Got one bit of pot and one bit of bone.
You got oh yeah. Won't buy the label.
It makes it a little bit more exciting then. You can see the difference between what I uncovered a quarter of an hour ago to what's been uncovered now. The sun just gets at it like that. We want rows of people on a nice damp day just working backwards. Everything will show you. But we haven't got enough people. We haven't got no people.
You were supposed to have loads of them down this weekend.
Yes, we were all expecting them,
And the weather too nice.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, but I was sort of sat down in a lounger deck here. I was thinking, I'd be out on a dig somewhere. Not sitting down baking away like, you know. Get these passages for holes and little bits like.
Well, you get your eye in and what might be. It might be something.
You always see that bit of a pot and you think, oh, there's going to be the rest of it underneath. No, it's just a little bit, like it's just a shard, like, you know. But you still take it gently, just in case there is a big bit underneath, like. Of course, the idea in this bit now is just to try and expose a bit more connection between the two features. But it's been exposed to the sun now.
Well, that's a horse's jaw. It might be the one that goes with the skull we found. Having said that, that might be another one. Looks like it's a jawbone, we don't know. That's a horse vertebra. Horse's teeth. Nice bit of pot, that'll give a nice profile when we draw it, we'll be able to tell what shape the pot is. We don't know what that is. It could be a small dollop of fossilised shite. That's a bit of oyster shell, which is unusual for an Iron Age site. You associate that with Romans.
And that big piece then you picked up, that big piece you picked up then, that big lump.
This one?
Yeah.
That's horse vertebra. Backbone of horse. Now what's the unusual thing? We've only found one. That's all there was, there weren't any more. So it didn't go in there as a piece of backbone, that went in there as a bone by itself. Because there are no marks on it to say it's been cut. So the chances are it was dismembered, allowed to rot and went in as a bone instead of a bone with bits attached to it.
Cool.
See if there's anything underneath it.
Take the soil around from underneath it, around
That's
it.
right, that's right. Yep. And then when I've done that one, there's the one under the hat.
Oh yeah. We can see that one, yeah. Oh, he told me to come from the back because it might collapse on you.
Yes, I mean, don't come any further than that, because it goes right underneath. We don't want anybody in the ritual sacrifices in the pits to say thank you.
Have you come up with any ideas what all that was about?
No, not at all, really. I need to have the time to look up other reports and see what other people found.
Have you, what are the bones over there? Is that today's bones?
Yep, that's all today's. Yeah, you can come round to there, that's no problem, as long as you don't come this side near the bucket. Skull.
A skull?
Yeah.
And that goes back in underneath, that's where you've been tunnelling underneath?
Well, it's taking the fill of the pit out. And I can't get the actual profile of the pit very well without doing what I'm doing now.
That book you were showing us the other day,
Yeah.
that is where you live, is it? That book with all the plans in. And that's where? Where was that? Marlborough way?
West Overton.
West Overton?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, I've got a lot of archaeology of my own. Still got to come and have a look at the people say.
Yeah. And that's all around by where you live?
On the farm.
What?
On our farm.
On your farm? Oh, that's good, yeah.
Get somebody in there, we'll get them in there.
Yes, please. Oh, God.
Looks like you've got a big chunk of it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I found that bit of gravel there, I thought, I've got the bottom of the pit.
Yeah.
Clean this up before I go home.
You right? There's bones sticking out of there
Yeah,
as well.
that's where that antler came from.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah. A little chunk on the end.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think it might be my turn to work out.
Yeah. So what's this red down here? That's pottery, is it?
What's that way there?
No, by your bone there, yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
Yeah.
There is a chance it's one of them stones. But I think it might be.
Look at the teeth on the end of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be
soft, isn't it? Yeah.
It could be pot, because I mean it's got very often got a, it's not a smooth surface.
Yeah.
The older stuff.
That's a skull you got looking at there, look.
Don't bloody joke about it.
Wow.
It bloody is, and my ribs are going to hurt tomorrow because I should be led on that plank excavating the bugger all
They
night.
better let you get on, don't hold you up too long with the neck.
You're going to be on overtime.
Well, it'll have to come out because it won't be there in the morning.
No, some bugger will have it away, won't they? What time would you hang on to until you've got the...
Till I've got it out.
Yeah.
I mean, thank goodness it's cooled down a little bit now.
Pardon?
Thank goodness it's cooled down a little
Yeah,
bit this morning.
that-
It was
yeah.
absolutely bloody
Wicked,
stifling.
wasn't
It really was terrible. Gave me a hell of a headache. It's not quite so bad now.
That be horses? No.
I know, yes. I think it probably is.
It's nice and big like a horse's head with a lump on the top. No, it might be a cow because they have a lump on the top of their head, don't they? It's most probably a horse then. It's probably a horse with this thing. I don't know. What if it's got a cow's jaw? Just imagine we found a gold pot in there. It wouldn't be very gold. bit because it like goes in. And then when there's
Why do you have the string across now?
Because we draw a section across there every time we go down a bit. It marks the same place all the time. Because you can't put the soil back when you've done it. So as you peel a bit off, you draw another section, you take, you know, bearings off all the time.
I wonder what they put it on there for. I saw it the other day. Oh well, didn't like to ask.
So you must be quite a good drawer if you want to be our senior.
Oh, not really, you just get used to it.
We used to think of it when we was
Down. Actually, might be a good idea. Then it won't get round up there. You just pop it in the end, brother.
There you get excellent view of the hold up here. Excellent view.
That one pushed them off.
Old break, see there's dark along the edges, so it's an old break.
Lift it.
I think it'll probably lift by hand actually,
Right, long as
but it
it's
was a question of what you want to put it in.
get the brown in the big box, isn't it?
Do you want it in the box or
We
straight
can. Should we put it? Is that big roller? Yes. If we bring the, if I bring the kitchen roll over, we can lift it and then one person hold it, the other person pack it. Don't cry just while we're doing it. It's good voice. Right.
I reckon we get your way, obviously. I'm going to get you laying in the box or whatever.
Right, if I come
Let
down.
me get it your way.
It's in 3 bits. Yeah, but it's still going to them on it. See that man? What skull is it then? A horse.
No, this is probably cattle, I think.
It might be because of the lump on its head, isn't it, Dad? Yeah.
Look.
No,
Wow.
Tree by these little grey and white things, those things lead inside the skull.
It could be fungi.
Intrigued, what does that mean?
Wondering about it.
In puzzlement.
Oh. They're probably some sort of almost microbiological fungal activity.
Won't know about. Joe, they're going to cave in that hole.
What hole?
That you dug out. Right, Kev?
Well, would you... Yeah, that's what everybody says I go when I'm
Set
ill.
yourself, didn't you?
Ew, look! It's fine!
Stay away from that, Adam.
Well, she pulled it out. Yeah.
Look at the big skull, they just stuck it out. Don't go anywhere near it.
What are your eyes?
I got this water in my hands, so I use my eye and
Right there.
I've emptied my shoes. What is that, Ren? Is that down? They don't sell it. He's had his haircut.
Cool. Classic.
Oh, there was a bone over
What?
there.
Come on, we'll see what they do.
No. No.
If we had a hole in me, though.
Yeah, there's definitely feathers.
Right.
There's the jaw brain.
What's the kitchen towel going down the back door?
Try and keep this.
What have we got today?
Box of bones, yeah.
What's all the yellow circles now then? All different patches?
Yeah, they've been having a look around to see what's about like that.
Look at that one coming out there.
The rest of that bloody pot.
Yeah, all the bones just come out of there. Look.
All them bones have come out of there today.
Yeah.
Any more luck on this one today, Joe?
Well, there's plenty of stuff. Lots of burnt stone, lots of charcoal, quite a bit of pottery, quite a bit of bone.
I won't come too close in case it...
You're all right there. It's this side that's dangerous. You can come up as far as there on this side if you want to. And there's a lot of burnt material in here. You see this sort of crumbly, mucky stuff. And it's all disintegrating because it's been burnt so much.
That's another nice head he's found over there, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, I know. That's the bone pit. The middle one was the pot pit, and this is the stone pit. They've all got their names now.
Yeah, bone pits.
Pot pit and stone pit. It's really weird. Take some samples.
Patience is a virtue, is it? Doing this job.
I was supposed to be home early.
There's pottery around it, is there?
Yeah. All this is pot, broken pot.
That's where they've been putting new soil in. Whoa. Right. because they died and mud went over them. No,
Let's draw it all, you know, we can't draw it, so we've got to trust the cameras are working properly.
Don't want to hold the camera for you.
Good. You hold that and that for me, thank you. That's what I got. That's in case I need it. Really important later on when we're trying to write this thing up. Oh, has it got the date on every bit you filmed?
Matt, keep back! Have you found anything else?
Yes.
What?
Oh yes.
What?
His name. That's a cattle skull, probably a cow rather than an ox. The unusual thing about it is that it's sitting on a lot of broken pottery.
Oh, kiss the donkey there!
Some of it might be quite old. But that's not to say that it was put in there at the same time.
They call him Donkey. I don't, I call him Burger Boy.
You see, what they wanted was the rain to come and bring out the colours in the soil. When the rain comes, they say it brings out the colours and they can mark out where the pits are. There's quite a few now.
Plus this is not...
Just don't get too close.
I think this one's going to break the eye.
It might just be like...
Bigger one.
For yours with that.
Oh.
So I see your friends with him now.
Huh?
I see your friends with him now. Last time I saw you, he was like...
You showing me
Yeah. What, even there? Whoa, cool.
Maybe 150.
Do you find a lot of these there?
If you've got the right rock here.
See, I just thought it was a bit of rock, but I saw markings on it, so I just picked up and I looked closer, and it's famous. And I got a little brush off, and
They
it's
used to live in a shallow, warm sea.
How old again? About 7. Well, about 8 million years old, did you say? Come over this land.
80.
No, it's 80 to 150, I think.
What?
Pig tooth. Pig.
Pig.
Tusk.
Let's see, which one?
That's what we did yesterday.
Right, something like that, and I don't know what that one is. Ammonite. But this one's 80 to 120, 150 million years old. But I don't know how old that one is.
Same. It's a piece of pottery what's found in that pit. And there's a pig's tooth. So that's found in the pig that pit as well.
There might be a contact line there. All the charcoal seems to be inside that line, and it's brown on the outside looking grey on the inside.
Some... And any of that will fit together.
It might well
Probably
do,
will do.
but it's.
A lot of it
We
seems
won't
to
be playing with
similar.
that tonight. We're getting back to the
On the edge.
store
Yeah.
and it'll be dried up and it doesn't.
See, I'd rather watch this than
Telly.
go out. Yeah. That's what Try and keep try and keep them. Yeah.
It's all pot there, Nick, isn't it?
Near enough, yeah.
Excellent.
All the bones of horses' heads and all sorts of things. That's all there.
Goodness. It's Iron Age pictures. Don't go too close, you might make it all collapse on top of man's head. Don't turn. There's some bones up here as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Nick.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. Any more? Still digging the pottery out, eh?
Yeah, every time you move a bit, there's a bit more. It's like the bloody bone, now it's pottery. Can't move for it. That there, very old.
Pardon?
Very old.
Is it? When you say
Could be talking 3,000 years old.
good lord.
It's what's known as a globular vessel.
You just started another pit there, have you?
Yes, yeah, just started another one. That one just seems to have ended in a little dish at the moment.
Pardon?
That one there seems to have just ended as a little dish. But this one looks as though it's going to go a bit deeper and there's some big bits of bone coming up. There's one there.
Already?
Yeah. And there's another big bit coming up there.
Oh, look at that, coming out already.
Yeah, very near the top. There's another bit coming up there too.
Another one coming there.
No, I think it's a piece of stone. A bit less heavy than the one.
You'll be able to just have me search up and down the site for that.
well, you took it down over there,
Yeah, when I was gear one and I thought, oh no, it's really not here, that's beach day.
All right, Matt.
what we doing up here, Matt? Getting the flat?
Yeah,
I'm a heating engineer. There's a plumber and there's a heating engineer.
Mr. Heating Engineer.
Bristol. Not Brooklands.
No.
The street.
you think that's just an odd bone, or could that be connected to something?
I don't know.
That's why you've got to do it like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't want to break it, so just try and work back and see where it ends. Yeah, there might be a bit more in there. I mean, it might have been just their leftover dinner, or it might be something a bit more. I'm not expert enough to recognise what sort of bone it is. So.
You've got a what?
Rat.
A rack?
Rat. A large mouse, a rat.
Is it? And that's what all those bits are.
Is it just the one, you reckon?
I think it is just the one,
The centre's only down on the bottom there. We're just
I'm
going
not saying a bloody word, because every time I think I found the sodding bottom, there's more under it.
This is beautiful, it's gorgeous. Absolutely.
Ah, little creatures.
Rat. I'm sure it is. It's too big for a mouse.
It could be a vole, couldn't it?
No, I think it's a rat.
We're going to pop the sense. Does anybody want anything?
I wouldn't mind coming with you to use
Yep.
the lid if I may.
Fine.
Thank you.
No, just seat up for you. Everything's fine.
Oh, right.
That's a rat.
What is that?
It's one of his teeth.
Good lord.
3,000-year-old rat tooth.
Is that right?
Stand on the bottom of the pit.
What time did you get away last night?
It wasn't too bad actually. It was about 5:30.
Oh, you weren't too late then.
Well, that skull,
All broke up, didn't it?
it was broken before I got to it,
Yeah.
so it just came out in bits. Yeah, that's some guy annoying me. Yeah.
Today.
I'm just revealing structures. Revealing features, should I say. Now we've had a bit of rain, it's made the soil a bit softer to remove. As you can see now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 colours here, like, you know. It's just trying to define them even better, like, you know. This isn't going to be on general release, is it? The film?
No, it's only for me to keep.
I don't want my bosses to see me working here.
No, no, Lord, no. No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Where I'm working today is up the top there, Bremo.
You rascal.
Don't worry, they're coming to get their worth out of me. Just I'm trying to get their worth out of them.
Yeah, that's all the different coloured.
Well, I've only been here an hour. All I've uncovered so far is that and that. And there's bone, pottery, and various rocks.
You
Emon
got,
looks like...
got good one going over there with the bone sticking up out.
Oh,
The lady.
is she?
Yeah, she's just, yeah.
Oh.
She
I'm
got-
just interested in my old. I haven't looked at anybody else's old yet.
Yes,
you get attached to them as well, like, you know, your feature that you're working on, like, you
Yeah,
know.
I know what you mean.
You want to see how it's going to grow up to complete with teeth.
You reckon?
Yeah, oh yeah, I can see them. I'm looking at one now and two now. I think before the end of the day I'll have to hoik it out because the kids will be out here.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have that, like, you know.
Yeah, I got to go out, that's why I come up now to get a bit more.
Because there's one of them. Teeth and all. There's the jaw.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So we'll be taken out by tonight.
Get in here a minute, mate, alright.
Because once I clear this sack... Take one o'clock.
What's that you're picking up there then, mate?
Charcoal.
Pardon?
Charcoal. Radiocarbon dated. Yeah, find out how old it is.
And that's your 3,000-year-old rat.
Well, he's got to be pushing 3,000 years, yeah.
The skull of a dog, but can't be sure until the experts have had a look at it. And there was a suggestion it might be badger, but perhaps it's too narrow in the forehead. So it's a knob on the side of a pot, and it's got a hole through where they would have put like a stick through or something like that to lift the pot up. When I first picked it up, I thought it was a piece of bone, but it's not. It's a piece of pottery. Get some bags from
Points on the features. They have a long day yesterday for coming here for the afternoon.
Working out.
About there?
Exactly where every feature is.
Is that where you reckon the edge of your bit is, Sean? Roughly?
Yeah, a little bit over there.
It was dead.
Just as well ready in a pit.
This horse died of death. It's a very common cause in the Iron Age.
You're cleaning away, and the saw is all the same. Once you're cleaning away, all of a sudden somebody walks across it, you see his footprints going across there. You're actually got to start all over again. Of course, on this terrain, it's a waste of time because as soon as we go, the kids are going to be on here. It's going to be messing up anyway, like, you know.
I think.
Yeah. 3 or 4, now about 4, 5 or 6 different areas.
Fortunately, I'm still holding it. It didn't seem long enough.
Stretches down just over your back. Expose that.
Limbs if need be, but just keep the pole upright.
Yes, boss.
Going on and on and on. Because what they've done the other way, you know.
I think that's 0, 0. I'll come round the right way, yeah. 0, 0, 6.
Very good.
I like the one on I did want to watch it. There was something else on there. I watched it last time.
It's going to be a centre, isn't it?
All this north and south. This one. Its number is 0 and 0, but it's double hit. We're going to have a centre for both, haven't we?
0, 8, 0.
North first. This one, of course, was the one that's on the middle of the plan. This is the one that produced all the buddies originally. And it was the one in the gap between the two plans. How about that? Oh, the fossil. Yep. Right, then. So let's get off the site while we're doing this because we've got an infrared beam running backwards and forwards. If you go right out of the way, please.
Yeah, I reckon Ice Age pushed it down somewhere around here.
I don't know where they did it. I think they were
Right,
quite
right.
capable of doing it, but I think it was used a method that was nothing like what they're trying to do.
No, because like,
I mean, nobody bloody knows.
so we know. A lot of people have to do when some of the size Stonehenge.
It's,
What's that one there?
it's daft. It's daft. This is a hammerstone. I think this might be a piece of local stone, but all these little flat edges on it, they're all there for a reason. If you sit that in your hand like that, this little flat edge goes against your knuckle. Your thumb fits over the top, and your bottom finger, your middle finger goes in the little gap underneath, and then you use it for napping flint. Like that. And that'll chip edges off of flint. We found half a dozen of these kicking about the place. Some of them made of rock that is quite obviously from a great distance away. One of them was bright red.
Is that right?
That's what that is. It's used, and that would have been kept in the Iron Age, and that would have been used all through the Iron Age because it's easier to make these than it is to make an iron knife. So they still use flint.
Amazing, isn't it? What else we got there? Oh, some more teeth.
Yeah, it's probably pig teeth. Might be just a small rubbish pit. The interesting thing is that there was a small feature there, which is just that little dish in the ground. Nothing came out of there. However, you can see on the edge there are 3 pieces of red stone. So whether it's a natural feature that's been used, and we don't know. This is another one of these big rubbish pits. There's lumps of clay in the bottom, possibly from where the lining was collapsed after it was stopped being used for food storage. But the interesting thing is that here is a huge plug of clay, which is around about 14 inches deep. Now, why there's a huge plug of clay in that hole, we don't know yet, but we'll find out. Once we've drawn the sections up, we'll excavate that and see what's under there. A similar sort of clay that would have been used to line these pits to keep the food in good condition. The seed corn. If you come round over here, this is the pit that had the skulls in it. But you can see that they forgot where they put their pits, because in the side there you've got another one. This one came second, so that small pit was in there first. When they dug the big one, they just cut the edge of it off. And you can see the outline of the shape of the smaller pit. And this is the one that had the skulls in it and all the pots.
Yeah, that is.
They're as deep, but this is actually quite a big pit as far as width goes. not anything that's going to last a long time, because if they're going to strip that off, I want to be here when they do it.
So you don't know when they're going to do that?
Well, they're going to do it today.
This is all what you've marked out today, is it? These yellow?
Well, when I came here this morning, with the rain we've had, all this showed up as different colours.
Ah.
So I went round and marked it whilst I had the opportunity.
It's funny how the rain brings out the different colours in it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's
When it was
the
last
wetness
week, when it
does.
was so hard and dry, you just had to
yeah,
guess.
you couldn't tell. But this morning I went round, and the yellow lines are where there's a definite edge, and the dotted ones are where I think there's an edge. If you follow things round.
Yeah. Did you come up with anything on that pit there with all the stone in, or was that just a...
No, she's still going with that one.
But that looked like a... as if it could have been a well, didn't it? When you looked in a well, they're all stone inside, weren't
Yeah, they didn't make their wells in that sort of style. I mean, it could be that the pit was just sagging and they threw stones in, just to fill it up. It could be that they were using it for some other purpose that we have no idea what it is. Right, do you want... Okay.
you? You reckon that is
Technical,
an
ain't you?
Yeah, well, it can't be right. The digger moving in, ready to do another strike. So they're going to have a look at what we've got along this side. Hello Peter, we'll have you found the first pot. Like for this one, he won't say anything, will he? way. Some more, Nick? Got some more? Got some more holes? where they're marking that, road people marking them yellow. That's some more new people coming in. Marking with the yellow stripes. This way, the gang digging by hand. more, Pete. Some more. What's he found some hours?
Yeah, there's a bit of pottery made on little square mark, and that was a real big thick piece of pottery there.
Yes.
Broke some of it off, and there's still a big chunk in the ground instead. All over the place, isn't it? Of course they do, they just kept going, didn't they? They hadn't taken it all.
Piece of pottery, wasn't it?
Yeah, a big thick piece of it. Yeah, broke the top off it. These are good gadgets, aren't they, these days?
There's Pete. Come back down, they just found a piece of pot there where Nick's now scraping away. Found a big piece of pot coming out of the ground there, but they just caught it in the rope, I believe. digging from today along this one. Finding quite a few more patches from what's being marked out. I've been having rendering all the time. Well, it's only been on the
Plug that into the telly, don't you? So when we pay off to kill this bloke, how much money do you want?
Where you bury him? skull. Dog.
If you wanted to, yeah.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, if it's going to be, you know, they've got to have coffee for the college, will they? Or whatever.
Well, that's what Jill said yesterday.
Yeah.
We're back to the historic club.
Come back when they're digging it out now, isn't it?
That's what we should be doing. In here.
Kids have been helping.
Where's the dog then?
Here.
What, that's the dog?
That's most of a dog.
We told them that you still
Small
have
dog,
bones.
deliberately placed, but it's not iron
We
age.
told them.
It's not deep enough. This is sitting about 6 inches above
We
the
did?
top of these pits, so it's unlikely to be iron age.
What sort of age do you reckon that would be then? We go over to
I,
that one.
I suspect it's probably 50 to 100 years old, maybe a bit older.
Not allowed. Porky?
It's not very old.
That's like ribs. It's because it's a dog. Oh, right. I thought it was a monkey's uncle. Where's that?
That's the first 3 ribs. This is the front left leg,
Oh, that's weird dinosaurs.
down to the toes. That's
I
one
don't
side of the
know.
jaw, the upper jaw.
Porky.
It was crushed by the excavator as it went across.
Oh, when they done it this afternoon?
eat it
Yeah, when he,
for
what did he?
It was the excavator that took off the side of the skull and broke these 2 ribs.
So when would that have been buried?
I think it's maybe 100 years old. It's not desperately old. If you go in the